Hi, everybody. The Sports Guppy with you on a Friday late afternoon, I guess, here in the East as everybody approaches their weekend. A few things to talk about today before we go on with tonight's card. A little bit about yesterday, first of all. Well, it's 7 nights in a row now that the Guppy has not made money. We haven't made money since last Thursday. Nothing to be proud of. However, I will say that we're still in profit. If you've been following the picks, remember I had a hot 2 weeks there and got up to nearly $7,000 in profit. I've given about 90% of it away since then, a little under 90%. We're still at $871, but we're still in profit. Others can't say that. So we're still in profit, $871, because the money management system brings the unit per play or play per unit down. Last Friday, when went for the fences, when I was up 7,000, 3-unit plays, I believe, were around $180. Well, now a 3-unit play would run about $25, and I'm only going to run a 1-unit play tonight because I haven't won. So it'll be an $8.71 per parlay on each round robin. So you can see that from that perspective, at least I'm not losing as much on a daily basis. But I did lose yesterday. What I've noticed as I've been looking over my card over the last week or so, I'm doing pretty good on picking games. The actual teams. It's the over-unders that are killing me. I'm missing those big time, it seems like. Many games seem to be going over, except for the ones I play over. Then those go under. It just doesn't seem like pitching is at much of a premium right now in baseball, which would lend you to think that the overs will come up. But they have been raising some of the numbers. I mean, if you've noticed, there have been a lot of games in the last couple of days that have been double-digit over-unders. One went as high as 12, and they keep coming up. Games are going into the 14s, 15s. I think there was one game earlier in the week with Baltimore and Detroit that went like 14-11. They had 25, whatever it was. So offenses are heating up, I guess, as the weather heats up. Well, maybe with the weather cooling down, and I would know that because I'm a meteorologist, the heat that you've had on the East Coast, if any of you are following from the East Coast, that's fading away. They hit 97 in New York yesterday. They may not hit 67 there on Sunday. So it is going to cool off. Maybe the over-unders will start to cool off as well. Have to see about that. I'm going to give you a Preakness preview as I see it in this. If you all followed my Derby picks a couple of weeks ago, did real well, got the winner, and the horse that I picked to finish third, which was a long shot, looking at Lee, finished second. So I got a nice exacta box that paid me over $300. So I'll give you my top three for the Preakness here in just a little bit. Plans, as for why I'm doing this early today, I am in the Kentucky State Senior Bowling Tournament this weekend. I'm a senior, at least as far as they're concerned. Yeah, I know the hair doesn't indicate it, but I am over the age of 50, which is what you need to be. I am not. I try to be a competitive bowler. This is my second year competing in the Senior Open. Last year, I believe I finished somewhere around 40th. About the top 20 usually get paid out. But I had one really good game last year. I believe it was we bowled 12 games to qualify, and I think it was the 8th game. I shot a 298. I've never had a perfect game, but I almost got one. I had the first 11, and then left a little bit of a light hit, left the 4-7, and shot a 298. But even with that, it wasn't good enough to qualify. I'm averaging this year, I'm about a 208 average. I'm down a little bit. Last year I was about 213. For the 12 games, you got to average usually in the low 220s to have a shot to qualify for the finals on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. We'll give it a shot. But bowling tonight, so I'll give you the plays early today. And then tomorrow, We've got two sets of qualifiers for the bowling. I've got a 10 o'clock block and a 2:30 block. So probably what I'll do is get on my cell phone between the two blocks, early in the afternoon, and I'll get the games to you. What I may do is split them up, afternoon and evening. I haven't seen the schedule yet, but I may do afternoon games then, and then after the 2:30 block, take a look at the evening games. So, but you will hear from me tomorrow. Sunday, if I somehow make the finals, I'll deal with it accordingly, but I've never made the finals, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's what's going on. Life does go on. There's more to me than just the Sports Guppy. The Sports Guppy Preakness preview is coming up now. I actually do a couple of radio shows across the country for some friends of mine in the radio business. I was on the Nebraska Sports Network Wednesday night handicapping the race, and here shortly I'm going to be on a radio station in my old stomping grounds of Eastern Kansas with some friends of mine handicapping the race there. Well, I see it primarily, it looks almost like a match race. There is a field of 10, but people really are only talking about two horses, Always Dreaming and Classic Empire. And they're clearly the class of the field, I won't argue that. But what sometimes happens in these races, and consider the fact that one is coming out of the 4 slot, one's coming out of the 5, so they're going to be right next to each other. They're both kind of pacing, stalking type horses, and I suspect that neither one is going to let the other out of their sight. There's not a lot of speed in the Preakness. There's a little bit, but not much. It would not surprise me to see these two go out fairly quickly to the lead. Maybe not the first quarter, but after the half. The two of them could just be a match duel, 1 and 2, and if that happens, they could outdo themselves. They could go a little too fast the first 3 quarters, set it up for a long shot closer. I see that as a possibility. I don't have the guts to actually do it, but I'm putting it out there as a possibility. So my top 3 for the Preakness, I'm going with Guinevere for third. Not a bad effort in the Derby, and just really, after the top 2, any of those 8 could finish third, so it seems as good a pick as any. Of course, the trendy, sexy pick would be to take Always Dreaming to win and have a shot at the Triple Crown. Always Dreaming certainly could win, but I think he's going to come up a little bit short. Good horse, solid horse, great bloodlines, good race, had a dream race for the Derby. I mean, absolutely no problems at all. Could have another clean trip, but I like Classic Empire to win the Preakness. Had a horrible trip in the Derby, especially at the beginning, and still managed to finish 4th. Most people think it's the best 3-year-old out there. He came out of the Derby sound and decided to run him in the Preakness. So I like Classic Empire. Pulling for Always Dreaming, but I like Classic Empire to win. But take those 3, Classic Empire, Always Dreaming, Guinevere, do an exacta box, and best of luck to you. All right, let's wrap things up here with the actual picks, and I will post them on this video as soon as I get the video processed, so they will be written below. I am going with... I've got 5 round robins that I'm going to do tonight. Let's start with a mixed bag of, this one's actually baseball, basketball, and hockey. I like the Cincinnati Reds, the Baltimore Orioles, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, the Reds, the Orioles, Penguins, and the Cavaliers. Those 4. And then we're going to do an over-under combination in all sports. I like the Dodgers under. I like the Atlanta Braves over, the Cavaliers over, and the Pittsburgh Penguins over. So there's round robin number 2. Number 3, let's go with the Reds over, the Yankees over, the Mets over, and the Pittsburgh Pirates under. So that's the Reds over, Yankees over, Mets over, Pirates under. Round robin number 4 will be the Pittsburgh Pirates, the St. Louis Cardinals, the New York Yankees, and the San Diego Padres. So the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Yankees, and the Padres. And my 5th one is going to be kind of my long shot special. So I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't want to be accused of playing all favorites. I really don't, but I definitely won't be on this one. So hey, give this one a shot. 1 unit, by the way, all these plays. If you want to go a half unit on this one, I wouldn't blame you. because I got 4 longies in there. The Miami Marlins, Oakland Athletics, Texas Rangers, and the Cleveland Indians for the last one. Again, Miami, Oakland, Texas, and Cleveland. So we're going to do 5 round robins, each one at 1 unit. So we're putting 25% of our bankroll at risk. And hopefully we can start to emerge out of this streak that has been going on and have a successful night. All right, enjoy your Friday night, everybody. The Sports Guppy is signing off. We'll have plays tomorrow, but we'll not have a video until Sunday. Until then, farewell.